Mm-hmm. Oh, I already checked the live one. I think this is the best. Oh, good night. How did what change my life? Vegan? Being vegan? No, I did 2 years of bachelor's. That was cheap at the time too. This was 2000. So I've had a job ever since I was 18. But master's degree, that was expensive. That was 40 grand for 3 years. That was wild. Dairy, no, I don't eat dairy. Community college is free now. What? It is? So they ripped me off? Is that possible to get a scholarship? Yeah, scholarships are possible. Just popped in and say hi, Terry. What up? Hi there, my name is David. I'm getting very okay, David. Calm down. You tell me, Trump or Harris. You tell me. So my community college, I didn't just do my general ed, but I also got a certificate for interpreting. So I went through the whole interpreting program. I thought I was going to be an interpreter for sign language, but then when I went to transfer to Cal State Northridge, they wouldn't accept my classes. I would have to take them all over again. So I was like, oh no, I'm not doing that. So then I went to Cal State Fullerton, and my undergrad was in human services with the emphasis of mental health and substance abuse. And then after that, which I had to do 3 internships for undergrad. 3 internships, 120 hours each. And then after that, then I worked for a nonprofit for 5 years serving homeless and low-income families. Yes, I took ASL. I was an interpreting program. And then after my 5 years of working nonprofit, I went to get my master's in social work. Focused on community mental health. So yes, I know the DSM front and back, side to side. So you are very smart. I guess you could say. I'm smart in certain things. Yeah, also 40K. Grad school was 40K. Thank you. You're a dangerous my kid. Oh, thanks. Thank you very much. Are you in a good mode? What does that mean? What would change about social work is what would you change about how social work is done? That's a great question. How are your parents? That's a great question. What would I change about social work? I would change the fact that it's not diverse enough when it comes to like politics. I feel like it's very liberal. So I would want a little bit more diversity when it comes to politics. I'm like, yeah, I'm not even gonna say. Putting on makeup, getting hot to be on. Yeah, it's super liberal. I'm probably like the only Catholic social worker. No, I'm just kidding. So I think there needs to be a little bit of diversity, but honestly, like, I don't know. The thing is, I don't really see that many social workers like in government and policy like that much, you know? That brings up another point. Mental health in our government. Like, you never hear about them like mental health. Like, the mental health, what do they even call them? The people in charge of mental health at a governmental level. The World Health Organization, healthcare. Yeah, a lot of the times I had to bite my tongue in class just to probably save my grade. That was like half of it. And we also had in my program, so there was like 2,000 people who applied and only 26 of us got in. And one of the 26 was a police officer. And they chewed him alive. Like, people chewed him. He was the sweetest guy, like the sweetest guy. And they chewed him alive. He only lasted one semester, or a semester and a half, I think. Okay. His classmates chewed him alive. Teachers chewed him alive. And this is wild, guys. This is wild, okay? So he was in my cohort, 26 students, okay? At the time, I was working group home, level 14. So we're constantly calling the cops to come save us because things are wild. So one night, we call the cops, and guess who shows up? He shows up. Out of everybody, out of every cop in that area, he shows up to the house. And I'm like, what? Like, what? Like, that's a sign. And he's helping me, a social worker. And when all my classmates told him off, like, guys, I got stories like this for days. Things like this that happened to me, so wild. Do you lock yourself on public toilet? What does that mean? Gianna, you gotta go to bed. Gianna, we both had to go to bed, okay? I'm gonna go to bed right now. I should have gone to bed an hour ago. But yeah, so, yeah, the police officer, he only lasted a semester and a half. Why did they hate him so much? Did he used to come to school? No, he didn't come in a police officer uniform, but they would just blame everything on him, like, they just blame everything on the police when that's not the case. Like, there's bad people in every profession. There's bad social workers. So am I going to sit up there and be like talking down on people because probably maybe 10% of those people probably aren't in social work for the right reason? No. So why are we attacking him? He was the sweetest guy. Yeah, he was a poor guy. That's so sad. Like, he's out there being a nice guy, helping people out. He helped me out. And the toilet cubicle, there's good and bad. Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, I mean, I think that's the only thing I would change. And then also, I would probably change, like, when it comes to nonprofits, the pay. Guys, the pay. Like, this is why most programs fail in social work, in social services. They pay really poorly. So then you get people who like barely qualify for the position, and the qualifications are not that much. So it's like you have people who are not equipped to be doing the jobs they're doing, helping people. Like, the people doing the job need as much help as the people they're helping. Like, that's something I would change too. Like, I honestly think social work, you should be able to get a free education if you want to go into social work. You should not have to pay for that. Because the job doesn't pay that much to begin with. And you're providing your life, you know? Most jobs are pretty dangerous. Well, the jobs I've done are pretty dangerous. Yeah, I know. I have a pimple patch right here. You don't need a degree for social work. Yes, you need a degree. That's what I'm saying. All education should be free if you want to be a social worker. That's what I think. Because we have people out there doing social work jobs that they don't know. They don't know, you guys. They don't know. Like, I was a case manager for 5 years, right? So I was a head case manager of 3 different housing programs, and Transitional housing, guys, if you have the right worker, works. It works. It works. But no, very, very, very rarely do you find someone who's going to put in the work. Like, I'm talking about, I was doing everything. I had bed bugs there, so I became the exterminator. I had like bugs and rats and mice all up in those. There were like little apartments, okay? I had to paint apartments. I had to fix furniture. I had to fix appliances. On top of that, I was then a babysitter. I had to watch some of my single mom's kids while they were going through stuff. Then I had to help with resumes. Then I had to, get food for the families. I would have to help cook. I would have to teach how to cook. Like, I was doing the most, but that's why it worked. You have those case managers who want to clock in the minute it hits 8 and clock out the minute it hits 4 or 5, okay? They don't want to have to deal with anything. They don't want to put in extra effort. And I don't blame them. Like, I do, but I don't. If you don't want to be in the field, you shouldn't be in the field. If your heart's not in it, you shouldn't do it, okay? But I had like 31 single moms in my transitional housing, and all but 3 of them went on to permanent housing. So what is that? 30, 29, 28. 28 of my single moms went on to permanent housing. And it worked. Like, transitional housing worked. But you have so many people out there that will not do the extra work. So then it fails. And then the whole system is like, transitional housing sucks. We got to get rid of that program. We got to come up with something new. We got to come up with housing first. And then it just goes around and around and around and around. And nothing works. As we could see in California, nothing works because no one's doing the job they're supposed to be doing. Yeah, you definitely have to have like the passion, the heart to do what you do as a social worker. If not, like, you're going to be part of the problem of why it's not working. And it's so sad because then they get rid of programs like that were actually successful, that helped. So if I could change one thing about social work, it would be the whole, the whole infrastructure of the workers, the pay, the education, to get people stable enough who can do the right work. So they can go and rob everywhere. See, this is a problem that I think with the whole robbing situation. Like, I don't know if it's just me, but I feel like lawsuits are kind of like hindering our society at the same time. Like, I get it if it's a legitimate lawsuit. Like, I get that. I get it, right? But if you get sued because somebody is coming in your store stealing and you get sued because you put hands on them, like, that shouldn't be a thing. So now the lawsuits are more than them just taking the stuff. So you just have to allow it. Okay. Same thing with a lot of things. There's some lawsuits have just like made things so impossible.